The cold, gray void of space stretched endlessly beyond the reinforced hull of the transport ship. Lieutenant Marcus Kane adjusted the straps of his exosuit, feeling the low hum of the engine reverberate through his bones. Months of fighting the Raxorian War had left humanity exhausted. Planet after planet had fallen, cities reduced to ash, and countless soldiers lost in the endless struggle for survival. Marcus had survived, not because of luck, but because of calculated determination and unflinching resolve. He glanced at the mission dossier one last time. The operation was simple in theory. Neutralize a Raxorian stronghold on the frontier world of Lyris 7 and retrieve the prize they had promised soldiers like him, a reward meant to motivate troops whose morale had begun to falter. In Marcus's case, the reward was said to be a companion from a newly allied alien race. At first, he had scoffed. A human soldier offered an alien woman as a reward? It sounded absurd, even insulting. Yet, here he was, standing on the precipice of a mission that could finally end his service, or his life. The landing pods shuttled down to the planet's surface, kicking up clouds of azure dust that sparkled like tiny crystals under the twin suns. Marcus could feel the tension in the cabin, the tightness in his chest as he gripped the armrests. Around him, fellow soldiers adjusted their weapons and gear, though most were silent, lost in their own thoughts. Lyris 7 had been a stronghold for the Raxorians for centuries, and its defenses were legendary. The High Command had promised minimal casualties thanks to advanced tech and air support, but Marcus knew better. War always had a way of ignoring promises. When the pods touched down, a low rumble shook the floor. Marcus and his squad exited, boots sinking slightly into the soft, sparkling dust. The alien landscape stretched in all directions, jagged crystal mountains, rivers of molten silver, and towering flora that glowed faintly in hues of violet and teal. It was beautiful, alien, and threatening all at once. Marcus's instincts screamed caution. The squad moved in formation, scanning for any signs of Raxorian patrols. Hours passed with nothing but the hum of strange insects and the occasional flicker of light in the distance. Then, the first alarm sounded, sharp, piercing, and terrifyingly synchronized. The Raxorians were waiting. They emerged from behind the crystalline structures, their armored bodies reflecting the alien suns. Marcus raised his rifle, adrenaline surging as the firefight erupted. The battle was chaotic. Blaster fire cut through the sparkling haze, and alien shrieks mixed with the deep rumbles of explosions. Marcus fought with precision, his squad falling around him, some wounded, others silenced forever. Every corner revealed new threats, swarms of smaller drones, towering behemoths with armored plating, and Raxorian snipers perched high in the crystalline peaks. Hours felt like minutes, and Marcus's hands were slick with sweat and dust. Then, in the heart of the stronghold, he found her. She stood in the middle of a vast chamber, illuminated by cascading light that refracted off the crystal walls. Her form was unlike anything Marcus had ever seen. Tall, graceful, with luminescent skin that shifted between shades of silver and sapphire. Eyes like liquid gold bore into him, with a mix of curiosity and intelligence. Her hair floated around her head as if suspended in water, and her presence exuded an aura of authority and serenity. For a moment, Marcus's mind went blank. The chaos of the battlefield seemed to dissolve, leaving only the figure before him. "You are the human soldier they sent," she said, her voice melodic but firm, echoing strangely in the chamber. "I am Lasara." Marcus lowered his weapon slightly, cautious but intrigued. "Lasara, I wasn't expecting this." She smiled faintly, a gesture both enigmatic and inviting. "You have fought bravely. Your reward is not just survival, but companionship. I am bound to aid those who prove themselves in the Raxorian War. That includes you." Marcus's mind raced. Was this a trick? An illusion? Every instinct told him to remain wary, yet something in her gaze calmed him. There was a depth there, a quiet wisdom that transcended the horrors he had witnessed. "You fought through countless obstacles," Lasara continued, "yet there is more to come. The war is far from over, but with my guidance, you can see the path ahead clearly." He swallowed hard. "Guidance and what else?" "Connection," she said simply. "The bond between our species can be rewarding. A partnership that strengthens both of us. But first, you must prove your worth beyond the battlefield." The chamber doors closed behind them with a resonant hum, sealing them away from the war outside. Marcus felt a strange sensation, as though the air itself vibrated with energy. He realized that this was no ordinary alien woman. Lasara possessed abilities beyond human comprehension. She could manipulate energy, read intention, and even heal injuries with a touch. Marcus tested her resolve, firing his weapon at the crystalline wall. The bullet stopped midair, suspended by a faint barrier before dissolving harmlessly. "You see now," Lasara said, "strength alone does not define a warrior. Wisdom, courage, and heart matter as much." The days that followed were unlike anything Marcus had experienced. Lasara trained him not only in combat techniques, but in understanding the alien technologies scattered throughout Lyris. 7. She introduced him to her people through holographic simulations, showing how cooperation could turn the tide of war. Marcus learned to think beyond human limitations, embracing strategies and philosophies that challenged his core beliefs. And slowly, the bond between them deepened. One night, as the twin suns set and the crystalline landscape shimmered in amber and teal, Marcus found himself walking beside her in the gardens she had created, pockets of alien flora and fauna nurtured for meditation and growth. Lasara's hand brushed his, a fleeting contact that sent a warmth through him unlike anything he had known. "Why me?" Marcus asked quietly. "I'm just a soldier. There are thousands more like me." "Because you did not fight for glory or reward," she replied. "You fought because it was necessary. You protect, you endure, and you question. That is rare among your kind." He felt an ache in his chest, a longing for something he had never admitted to himself. "And this bond, this connection, it's part of the reward?" She nodded, eyes reflecting the setting suns. "It is more than a reward. It is a future. Together, we can bring change, not just in this war, but for our worlds. But first, you must accept it willingly. A bond cannot be forced." Marcus took a deep breath, letting the weight of his experiences and the promise of something new settle within him. He extended his hand, and Lasara intertwined her fingers with his. At that moment, he felt a surge of energy, a flow of understanding and emotion that transcended words. He realized that everything he had fought for, every loss, every battle, every moment of doubt, had led to this. The war did not end that day, but Marcus's purpose shifted. With Lasara by his side, he led human and alien forces in coordinated strikes that turned the tide on Lyris. 7. Together, they neutralized Raxorian strongholds with precision and minimized casualties, proving that unity was more powerful than brute force. As weeks turned into months, Marcus and Lasara's bond strengthened. She taught him not only about her species, but about the interconnectedness of all life in the galaxy. He shared human resilience, humor, and ingenuity. In turn, she shared wisdom, patience, and abilities that seemed almost divine. Soldiers began to speak of them not just as leaders, but as a symbol of hope, proof that humanity could coexist with other species, that even in war, there was room for trust, love, and cooperation. One evening, after a decisive battle that secured Lyris, 7, Marcus stood with Lysara on a cliff overlooking the planet's oceans of liquid crystal. The twin moons reflected in the waters, and the sky burned with colors no human eye had names for. "Everything changed," Marcus said, voice barely above a whisper. "Yes," Lysara replied, her hand resting gently on his. "Because you allowed it to." For the first time in his life, Marcus felt complete. The soldier, hardened by war and tempered by loss, had found not only a companion but a partner in every sense of the word. Together, they would face the unknown, challenge the remnants of the Raxorian threat, and explore the vast reaches of the galaxy. The human soldier's reward had not been a simple prize. It had been the beginning of something far greater, a bond that transcended species, a future forged in courage, and a love that promised to change everything. As the suns dipped below the horizon, Marcus Kane finally understood. The war had given him many things, but none as profound as the connection he now shared with Lysara. And for the first time, he believed that humanity's place in the galaxy was not only to survive but to thrive, alongside those willing to walk the path of unity and trust, even among the stars. As the last echoes of the battle faded across Lyris, 7, Marcus Kane stood beside Lysara on the cliff overlooking the oceans of liquid crystal. The twin moons reflected perfectly on the shimmering waters below, and the alien sky glowed in colors no human had names for. The planet, once a stronghold of the Raxorian Empire, was now peaceful, its citizens looking toward a new era. Marcus turned to Lysara, the weight of everything he had endured pressing upon him. He thought of the friends he had lost, the horrors he had witnessed, and the countless battles fought across the stars. Yet now, standing there, he felt a profound clarity. The war had tested him, shaped him, and finally rewarded him in a way he could never have anticipated. "You know," he said softly, "when they told me my reward would be someone like you, I thought it was a joke. Or maybe even a trap." Lysara's eyes glimmered with a golden light. "I am no joke, Marcus. But neither am I a prize to be won. The connection we share is born of choice, respect, and understanding. That is the true reward, not power, not victory, but the bond we create together." He reached for her hand, feeling the warmth of her touch, something that grounded him after so long in chaos. "I understand now," he admitted. "I've fought countless battles, but none mattered as much as this. None prepared me for this." She smiled, the light in her eyes reflecting a universe of knowledge and emotion. "Then let us walk this path together. Humanity and my people have much to learn from each other, and together, we can bring hope to a galaxy that has known little." Over the following weeks, Marcus and Lysara worked tirelessly. Using her advanced knowledge and his battlefield experience, they rebuilt Lyris 7's defenses while teaching humans and aliens to coordinate, share technology, and trust one another. The soldiers who had once seen each other as different species began to see each other as partners. Marcus found himself not only a soldier, but a mentor, a bridge between worlds. One night, while resting in a quiet grove Lysara had cultivated for meditation, Marcus watched the twin moons rise over the horizon. He thought of Earth, of his family, of the home he had left behind. But now, his heart belonged to the galaxy, and to Lysara. "Do you ever wonder what might have been?" he asked, speaking more to the stars than to her. "Every possibility exists," she replied, "but the choices we make shape the universe. And we have chosen well, Marcus." He felt a swell of emotion, something that went beyond words. The human soldier who had been hardened by war was no longer just a survivor. He was a leader, a partner, a pioneer of a new era where trust and unity crossed the boundaries of species. Finally, as dawn approached, Marcus and Lasara stood together on the cliff, hands entwined, gazing at the horizon where the first light of the twin suns painted the world in shimmering gold and violet. A new day, a new chapter, and a new purpose awaited them. For Marcus Kane, the human soldier, the reward had never been simply a prize to claim. It had been a life-changing bond, a connection that transcended species and war, and a love that promised to reshape the future. Together, he and Lasara would explore the stars, face whatever dangers lay ahead, and prove that the most extraordinary victories are not won with weapons alone, but with courage, compassion, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. And as they looked out over the planet they had saved, Marcus knew without a doubt, everything had changed. The war had given him his reward, but more importantly, it had given him a reason to fight for peace, love, and unity, not just for humans, but for the galaxy itself.